Have you heard of any of the third-party candidates?
They're not important because they're nobodies.
You kind of have to take the lesser of both evils, in my opinion.
The independent candidates could only draw votes away from one or the other candidates.
I don't want to waste my vote and risk someone like Donald Trump getting into office.
Let's say that there were a third-party candidate, right, who perfectly matched your values. Would you vote your conscience?
I would vote my conscience.
I'm definitely looking for a third-party candidate. Gary Johnson, I believe. He looks promising.
In an election year in which the two mainstream candidates are disliked at never-before-seen levels, might there be an opportunity for third-party candidates? Former Governor Gary Johnson is polling close to double digits, higher than any other third-party candidate since Ross Perot in 1992. We hit the streets of Los Angeles and the campus of UCLA to ask voters whether they'd consider voting third-party this year, and to administer the isidewith.com test, an online quiz that shows you which candidate is your ideological match based on your answers to a series of questions.
Can we take a little political quiz? Basically, this will match you up based on what you like with a candidate. What's your stance on abortion?
Absolutely, it should be allowed for the proper reasons.
Do you support the legalization of same-sex marriage?
Yeah, of course.
Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood?
Yeah.
Do you support Obamacare?
No.
Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria?
Not at this time.
Should the government raise the federal minimum wage?
Yes.
Should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles?
No. These some badass kids around here.
Do you support the legalization of marijuana?
I do.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Of course.
There it is.
Oh, definitely.
We're in college, man.
Based on that quiz, who do you think you're going to be most aligned with? Which candidate?
Hillary.
I don't know. I still want Hillary to win. Either way it go.
If it came out that you were more aligned with a third-party candidate, would you look more deeply into them, or it's still off the table?
I think it's off the table. I just don't think that a third-party candidate has the votes to win, and instead is going to possibly take the votes away from somebody or from Hillary.
While committed Clinton partisans seemed unlikely to budge, we found that many of the folks we talked to identified as independents, a trend consistent with data that points to fewer and fewer Americans affiliating with the major parties.
Do you identify as a Democrat?
Independent.
Okay.
Because I feel it's more important to care about issues.
Do you still consider yourself a Republican and not a Donald Trump fan, or are you an independent now?
I'm more of an independent now.
I'm sort of an independent, but I lean more towards the left, so yeah. No, I don't identify as either one of them. I just know that the system that we've seen in the past has failed us, and I just believe that we need real change, whatever that looks like.
And these self-described independents were more willing to at least hear out the third-party candidates. In fact, a recent Quinnipiac poll found that 61% of Americans want Gary Johnson on the debate stage, despite the fact that the Commission on Presidential Debates sets the polling cutoff at 15%.
Should the presidential debates include candidates with less than 15% support?
Absolutely, yes. Everybody who can get their voice in, I think, that deserves to should.
I don't think so.
No.
Yes, especially now with, third-party candidates.
Providing another choice for people of a party where they may not agree with who the nominee is will perhaps be a more honest reflection of how people really feel.
Would you still agree with that if you thought that they were going to siphon off votes from Hillary Clinton?
I would. I mean, fair is fair.
Being in Los Angeles, we didn't find many libertarians, but we did find many people who aligned with the Green Party's Jill Stein.
So apparently you agree with Jill Stein 97% of the time.
Oh, wow.
That is your top one. Hillary is 92, so she's pretty close. And then Gary Johnson is third at 73 before a huge drop to Donald Trump at 28%.
Well, I guess I'm voting for Jill Stein.
You actually agree with Jill Stein 77% of the time.
Okay.
That's your number one.
Okay.
Number two is Gary Johnson. You agree with the third-party candidates significantly more than either Trump or Hillary.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of America does. But I think, again, it's the corporations and things that will put these people in front of us.
Your results are what you expected. You agreed with Hillary 90% of the time.
Okay, good. Phew, 90%. That's even better than I thought.
I'm a philosophy major. I'm very Aristotelian. So I'm dealing more with virtues of a person.
Would you vote for somebody with whom you disagreed on policy, but you thought was trustworthy and honest?
Had the right character and had the right virtues and had a voice? I would much rather they be voted in than somebody who registers for ideas and then just wants to be elected and follows a crowd.
Yeah, overall in this quiz, with all the, for tens of thousands of people that have taken it, Gary Johnson is ranked the highest on integrity, honesty, intelligence, leadership. Does that make you want to take a...
You hear him speak. You hear passion in the voice and through the eyes, which are the windows of the soul. So I need to see the way he moves, the way he talks, before I can start saying, okay, that man has my vote.
But you'll consider it?
I'll consider it once I see him.
Do you think that people should vote their conscience, even if they can't win, if there's no chance?
I think it's still worth a shot. It's nice knowing that people in my younger generation are identifying as independents and not just blindly following whatever the party agrees with. I think a lot of Bernie supporters are trying to find some banner to go under now, and I think either Jill Stein or Gary Johnson, third-party candidates, have a good pool of people they can reel into their parties.
We're reflective of most Americans, which, speaking with a broad brushstroke, is being fiscally conservative and socially tolerant, liberal, whatever, as long as you don't force it on me.
Do that research for yourself. I'm already a convinced Hillary voter.